Gene here. So I'm one of the Call Academy coaches, and I just wanted to quickly make this video for you so you don't get confused right away. So what you're looking at right now, if you're logged in, is essentially the minimum viable product, the MVP of Call Academy. This is the, let's just get what we need out to the people who need it and then worry about the house cleaning later. Okay, this is the phase we're in right now. So there is no knowledge base because we haven't quite figured out, what questions people have. We have 6 modules with lots of videos, more videos to come, more webinars to come. But the answer side of things is a little bit limited, because we're waiting for feedback to come in. So bear with us. The compromise here is due to the lack of structure with respect to like a knowledge base, frequently asked questions page. You're going to get fast. You're going to get fast support through the Facebook page and through our support email, which is support@call-academy.com. That's going to create a support ticket, and one of us coaches will answer that. We're all on the internet all the time, so we'll see them coming in. And so the customer support should be really good and personalized while we build out the rest of the course. And so that's kind of the compromise there. But when it's all said and done, the content that you need to get started are in those videos. So my recommendation is just to start with the first module, work through it. As you encounter a question or you have a question, feel free to drop a support email. So just be patient with that, or jump into Facebook and somebody will be there to ask or answer your question for you. And just work through each module every step of the way, and just keep asking those questions, and we'll take care of you. That's really how you're going to learn and absorb this stuff. The more questions you ask, just the more it sticks, and the more time you have to think about what you're doing anyway. Okay, so I hope this helps. Apologize for the mess. With this, like I said, this is the minimum viable product. We are just getting launched, and things will get better as time allows us. So stick around. It's going to be fun. You're going to make some money. We're all making money, and really, this is a good time to be an affiliate marketer, honestly. So welcome. Talk to you later. Now go to the module 1 and get started.
Hey guys, welcome to Call Academy. This is Paul. Just wanted to take a little bit of time out and welcome you guys to our training program. I just wanted to make this short little video and just talk about a couple things with our training course and what to expect through our program. Overall, what you guys are going to be learning about is how to generate calls for either online buyers or offline buyers. This can be anything ranging from affiliate programs that accept calls and pay you out per call, or down to working in your local community generating calls for offline businesses such as dentists, lawyers, doctors, anything that really can benefit from calls coming in with customers ready to buy products. So a little bit of what we're going to be focusing on is how to generate these calls effectively, how to obtain clients or work with networks, and really how to overall grow and sustain a business within call generation. So overall, we have a few coaches, myself, Paul, Kenny, and Gene, who will be making these videos through the training course. Each one of us has specialties in what we know and how we can benefit you in the long run, training you guys in the call generation space. So with that said, I will see you guys on the next training video.
Cool. Welcome. All right. Hey guys. Welcome to the course overview. This is video number 2 of module 1. Hopefully you enjoyed Coach Paul's paper call overview, so you get an idea of what we're about to do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about how this course will make you money and how we laid it out. Okay? So This is just a top level view, table of contents of the course. We'll give you an opportunity to kind of see what you're about to get yourself into. Of course, Module 1 is just a welcome module. It's important to say hi, but it's not the one that's going to make you any money. And neither is Module 7 right away. So Module 7 is after you've figured a bunch of stuff out and you're ready to take it offline so you can get better deals. Okay? So the first thing we really want to get into after this module here, which is Module 1, and then of course after Video 3 where I show you what a campaign looks like, we're going to talk about networks. So, you know, what's really cool about Call Academy, and I think this is what's going to set us apart from a lot of people, is our exclusivity, our access to some really good networks that I think a lot of places probably don't have, or maybe you don't have unless you have a very close relationship with the ad network owners like Paul does. See, Paul's been in this business for almost 10 years now, and I've noticed this when I go to conferences and so forth, affiliate marketing conferences, and I've met guys that have been in the business for 10 years or so. A lot of them have started, a lot of these guys form these groups, these cohorts, these mastermind groups and stuff, as newbies, as beginners in the affiliate marketing space. And those that stick it out and successfully figure out what works and stay in the industry for a number of years tend to gravitate upward in the funnel. So a lot of guys will stop they'll stop being affiliates and they'll move into, say, the offer owner space, or they'll get into the ad network owner space and so forth. So Coach Paul has a couple of buddies who own ad networks, and so he's got exclusive access to guys like Anthony, who owns Paylo, which means we're going to get the hookup on exclusive offers, and then of course expedited access to things, getting approvals and so forth, and that's just super helpful when you know people already in the industry. So just being in Call Academy associates you with Paul, which associates you with hey, you get front of the line privileges, which is really nice. And then, we're gonna talk about those networks. We're gonna talk about the type of offers you should test, you should run, the things that are working, the obvious stuff, and then of course applying. What's it gonna take to get into the networks? Okay. Module 3 is about landing page creation. This is a little bit longer. There's a couple of different ways of skinning this cat. I really don't like using skin the cat. That's kind of bad. But anyway, the landing page thing is super important because really it's all about making Google happy. And to make Google happy, you need to look like an offline business as opposed to a fly-by-night affiliate marketer. And so we're going to show you how to do that by building out pay-per-call compliant websites. I have a strategy that leverages private label rights websites, and it's been working for me great. So it's been working quite well. And also I'm thinking more long-term, so I'm slowly replacing the private label rights, the duplicate content that comes with the website, with my own content, my original content, and just building out a decent website that adds value, and at the same time running pay-per-call on them. So ultimately, my phone number will be on that website, and people will be finding it organically, and they'll be calling it to get help, and I'll have those conversions rolling in on top of my pay-per-call campaigns. So I'll show you what I'm doing there and how to set something up pretty quick. And then Paul's going to show you how to get up and running with Retriever. Retriever is a service that is it's like a phone tree. So when you've probably experienced this many times where you call into something and it's like press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 3 for this. We use that system because you only need one phone number on your website, and then you could rotate offers on the back end. So allows you to test offers really quick without having to go through your website and change phone numbers and tick off Google, because what business would change their phone number every 2 days, testing offers, right? So Retriever is incredibly important. I highly recommend that you get on board with Retriever like right now. That way, when you build out your website, you can use the Retriever phone number all across your website, as opposed to a bunch of different offer phone numbers. If that sounds kind of confusing to you right now, the pay-per-call overview video where I talk about a campaign will explain that. So that would be the next video. Okay. Module 4, applying for offers. Now that you have a website, now that you have Retriever, now that you've gone through and you're ready to you've looked at offers, now you can apply for them. And Paul's going to talk to you, Paul's going to give you the rundown on what's working now, what you should avoid, what you should be looking at in terms of long-term plays, and then just take his advice. So he's just going to show you that. And I'm going to show you Ring Partner. Ring Partner is one of those ad networks that's been around since like 2007. It's up in Canada. Really good guys. They're super friendly, and they got a wealth of knowledge and information, especially on their YouTube channel. So if you want to continue to grow your knowledge in this space, I recommend you check out their YouTube channel. Finally, not finally, but Module 5 is preparing to launch, and this is an intense module. Obviously, you can see there's 7 videos there. Every step of this is super important, and so we're going to talk about things like AdWords and setting up a campaign, and of course, conversion tracking. There's certain strategies at play there because it's really important. Once you understand how some of these offers work, it's important to track them properly. And it can get kind of confusing. I've gone back and forth so many times on how I set up my conversion tracking, and I've just messed up my data. So it's really important to get this right early on. And so Coach Kenny's going to teach you a little bit about conversion tracking. Also, we're going to get into negative keyword strategies. And if you don't know what a negative keyword is, just real quick, it's one of those words that you don't want your ad to show up for. So if you're running, like, say, a rehab offer, and a lot of people are looking for detox, like alcohol detox or drug detox and so forth, you don't want your ad showing up for like red acai berry detox smoothie, and so a lot of that stuff is just negative. You don't want any of that junk, so we block that stuff, and that's all with a negative keyword list. So we're going to give you some strategies for generating those negative keyword lists. That way you're not wasting money on clicks, because believe it or not, people will click on your ad and call thinking they're talking to somebody about red acai berry smoothies, So we got to take care of that on our side. We're going to talk about SpyFu, which is our spy word tool of choice. Coach Paul has recommended it. We use it quite extensively. We also use Google Keyword Planner. That's a good place to find those long tail phrase keywords that are relatively inexpensive, but at the same time offer some traffic, which is really good. And then some ad creation, which I feel is probably one of the biggest components to your success. Being a good ad creator. I downplayed this quite a bit because I thought, anybody that reads this ad is going to understand what it's all about, but there's such a deep level of psychology that goes into ad creation, and Coach Paul is going to talk about that and how to get your ads written to convert, really, because it's important. And also, a good ad will get a higher CTR, which means your cost per click is going to go down, which is really important if you want to get profitable in this business. Module 6, testing, optimizing, and scaling. So this is the fun part. So video 1 is all about turning on the traffic. Sometimes you can launch a campaign and nothing happens. There's not a single impression, and you need to figure out why. A lot of marketers will throw their hands up and they'll get frustrated, and we'll talk to you a little bit about why your campaign isn't generating any impressions and things for fixing that. And then finally, once the traffic is turned on and hopefully you're converting, what's working, what's not working, what to do, to make sure that things continue to work and not work. Because I've noticed, I'm guilty of this. Once things get working, for some reason, I just like to get in there and tinker, and I usually end up breaking stuff. And one of the best tips that I can give an affiliate is, if things are working and you're collecting data, don't touch anything. Just declare a date and a time before you make your next, tinker. You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk about that in that video. And then, of course, best practices for testing new keywords in terms of phrase matching and, just these keyword modifiers and stuff to get you the most traffic possible, see what's working and what's not working. And then another strategy for building that negative keyword list as your traffic is flowing and people are clicking on your stuff, okay? And then, of course, more ad testing and optimizing strategies, because, really this business is really about testing and optimizing. Always be testing, right? And so we'll talk about how we do it Everybody's got their own little strategy, and you're going to develop your own little strategy because there is no formula. There is no step-by-step cookie-cutter way of being successful in this business. About the best we can do is just give you some strategies, and hopefully you understand the concepts behind them. It usually just takes time and money to test and figure out what works, get obsessed, and then ultimately you'll crack the code. And then finally scaling, so after you figure out, hey, I'm making some conversions, what should I do next? We'll talk a little bit about that. And then Module 7 hasn't been written yet. I am currently in the process of working with an offline client right now. And this module is about taking the pay-per-call model and working with local business. So you can increase your conversions by focusing on increasing your margins and being more competitive on AdWords. And also the competition is a lot less when you're focused more locally, because you get into those longer phrase, city specific keywords that a lot of people aren't bidding on. And if your ad groups and your ads are tailored to those, you're just going to be winning. And so really this module is about, okay, how do I strike a deal with an offline client, a prospective client, and negotiate some kind of business deal where you're going to drive pay-per-call leads to their office in exchange for a commission. And I've already started to experience some interesting phenomena with one of my clients, with the client I'm working with right now. Is a lot of times I'm sending her traffic and there's nobody there to pick up the phone during business hours, which is a lost lead. And this is a plastic surgery space, and a lead is like $15 to $25, so that's like money down the drain. So you go, well, how do I address that problem? Because really it is her problem. She needs to fix her phone system. But if I want to continue doing business, and I know it's going to be lucrative in the long run, what could I do to help bridge that gap? And that also opens up new opportunities in consulting too. So we'll talk about that in Module 7, but I assure you that just work through the rest of the modules, the first 6, and get your feet wet and figure out what's working, or what's not working. And then once you develop some confidence, and then we can tackle Module 7. Okay? So I hope this was informative. And honestly, I think you can get through all 6 modules in a weekend and be ready to go on Monday if you just focus and knock it all out. We'll talk in the next video. I'm going to talk about a pay-per-call campaign and what that looks like, so you get a feel for what you're about to do if it hasn't quite sunk in yet. Okay? That being said, I'm Gene. I'll talk to you later, and thanks for watching, you guys.
Hey guys, what's up? Paul here. Wanted to show you guys a few of the different ways that you can get paid as far as affiliate offers go, and understanding which type of payment model will work best with what traffic, what you can expect, and some things to look for. So let's get right into this. So the different types of pay-per-call offers that there are currently, or at least the majority of what works for us in terms of generating a profitable campaign. The first one we're going to talk about is a raw call offer. Now, a raw call offer, it pays on a connection to the call center. So we're going to be talking about durations and stuff through this video. So as soon as your caller connects to the call center, instantly that call is a payable call. So these type of offers tend to pay less. So if you understand or want to understand how a call center really monetizes these calls, the call center reps typically know if a raw call cost model is coming to them or a duration is coming into their call center. So if a raw call is coming into them, they know they have plenty of time to vet the call, ask the caller questions, and so on and so forth, because they know every time a connection comes through, it's X amount of dollars. So when you get into durations of phone calls, understanding how the call center reps work will help you, be able to optimize accordingly. So with that said, a raw call offer pays basically on a 0-second duration. You'll see a lot of these type of raw campaigns used on pops, pay-per-view, so like pop unders, where it's typically less targeted than, say, a click-to-call campaign or a call extension campaign on Bing or AdWords. And so, the affiliate, or, you guys are just kind of banking on the fact that, you're trying to get this out to as many individuals as possible. And every time they call that number, you get paid out. So, we've gotten many different raw campaigns profitable. And they are a pretty common cost model when it comes to like student loan consolidation, rehab, and like tech support. Those are the three big ones that I've seen that pay on a raw cost model. So let's check out the next one, which is duration-based offers. So typically you're going to see 30, 60, 90, and 120-second durations for the most part. You will see some longer ones in rehab, such as a 3-minute, 3.5 minute. Some lawyer-based call campaigns could be 5 minutes. And all of this is based on, how much the call center deems they can extract in a certain amount of a certain duration. How much information can they get out of a person in 30 seconds or 60 seconds or 90, and so on. So, like I said in the raw call model, these places know that they have, say 60 seconds until that call is going to be payable. So, if they see that, a caller comes in and it's hard to get information out of them, they might say, this call isn't worth our time, and hang up before the 60 seconds are over. So we can talk a bit more about that when it comes to targeting your ads effectively to draw in the right type of caller, but that's just something to keep in mind. So, the lower end of the durations, they're going to pay less. The higher end, I'll show you an example here in a little bit, like a rehab 3-minute, 3.5 minute could pay as much as $300 to $400. So, and typically speaking, higher paying call offers are easier to back out in AdWords, just due to the fact that, AdWords click to call, the CPCs are going to be a bit higher than you'd experience with Bing, or with Facebook, if you're running calls to a landing page. But there's a lot of user interaction there. So, I typically prefer duration-based offers on click-to-call campaigns with AdWords, just because it's a little bit easier to hone in on the metrics in the long term. So the last type that you will typically see is called a bundle. And basically what the networks do is they will institute an IVR, or interactive voice response, where they can mix in a whole bunch of their different offers within one vertical to optimize as many billable calls as possible. So what you'll see is, whether it's, rehab is a great one to explain with bundles. It could be press 1 for somebody that doesn't have insurance. So whoever goes to the first key press, those buyers are going to pay a certain amount. Press 2 if you're government insured, press 3 if you're have this insurance or that insurance, so on and so forth. And each key press is going to designate a certain payout to you. So these offers, the bundles make it very easy to monetize campaigns, because you're able to just throw a lot in there, and the callers, over time you'll be able to see patterns and trends as to what type of keywords or ads are sending certain types of callers to your campaign. So let me just show you guys inside the network real quick. So this is an offer that we've been testing here over the last 2 days. You can see we're running a lot of raw call volume. This is within Paylo. And let me show you what it looks like to look into the raw calls. So you can see here that there is an initial IVR that verifies if the person actually wants some type of drug or alcohol treatment, and it's going to pay 10 per call typically. But if you scroll down here, you can see the hours of operations. But you can also see that it pays between $10 and $21. So with this particular offer, they have a few different buyers that pay like $10, $18, and $21 per raw call. And so I'm able to figure out on the campaign side how much I should be paying per click to, get under this at least $10 payout to, make a few bucks profit. And then if some of the calls coming in get monetized at the higher payouts, then it's just kind of like icing on the cake to add that much more. And there is also a good example of a bundle here. So this bundle, we haven't tested it out too much, but the first key press is used to essentially get people out of the IVR. Maybe it's a wrong number, they're not looking for rehab, etc. The key press of 2 is going to be a raw call, and the key press of 3 is going to be a $360 3.5 minute duration call. So you can see how these bundles work. Let me see if there's another one here. I believe this is another bundle. You can see, yeah, exactly. Right here, key press 1, no insurance. 2, state or government. 3 is PPO insurance. And 4 is HMO insurance. And you can see the payouts that are designated each time. So, with that said, I hope this kind of demonstrates a few different versions of call models that you can use to profit through your campaigns. And we will see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, it's Paul here. I wanted to spend some time talking about networks when it comes to running your pay-per-call affiliate offers. One of the most important things when running pay-per-call affiliate offers is trusting the network that you work with and split testing various offers. So just wanted to show you a few examples, not a very long video, but it is important just due to the fact that when you're running potentially tens of thousands of dollars a week or even a day, you want to know who's handling the money properly on the network side, and you just want to have good relationships with people. So I'm also going to show you a little bit here with OfferVault. Most of you guys should know about OfferVault. If not, it's basically like a search engine for offers. So I've gone ahead here, I've typed in the word solar. I've sorted it by pay-per-call here on the tab, and what I've done is, let's just say I have a click-to-call campaign in AdWords, and I've been researching some solar keywords, and I only am working with one network right now, and I want to see what payouts, are being run elsewhere. So right here I typed in solar, and, these are kind of generalized. This isn't telling you too much. Pay-per-call, solar tier 2 and tier 3, you can see that there's a pay difference, but this doesn't tell you what states they're running, what hours they're running, and so forth. So what you can see here, if this was me, I'd be looking at these are the sponsored listings. So the sponsored listings, these guys are paying potentially thousands of dollars a month to have their ads come up first, or their offers come up first, rather, for affiliates to see. With affiliate networks in general, a lot of the pay-per-call networks are pretty good, but with like CPA networks, there's a bunch of these like fly-by-night networks that have no money, and they've stolen money from affiliates, or they just don't pay out affiliates. So, generally speaking, if people can afford a few grand a month to pay for a sponsored listing, they're probably doing okay. money wise in their bank account. So that's just something to keep in mind if they're paying for sponsored listings. Just something interesting to think about. As far as some of these networks go, Palo Network, I've known Anthony and the guys over there for quite some time. They are definitely people that I trust there. Hyper Target Marketing, Eric over there, they're good guys there as well. Global Wide's been around forever. I've known the guys at Aperture for a while. So these are just a couple examples. If we go over here and we just sort by just all the pay-per-call offers, you can see there's tons of pages here just on offers, 497 results. So there's tons of companies here. Lead Giant, Aperture, which we mentioned, Astoria, Global Wide, Ring Partner, XY7, and so it goes on and on and on. But when you're choosing your offers, you want to have a good rapport with the network. You want to be able to trust them. If you click here, let's say you just want to sign up with Aperture, you click here and it brings up your information. So these are just a couple things I wanted to bring out. We're going to have within our closed Facebook group some links to some of the networks that we trust and we use, just to give you guys a little bit of an advantage. But other than that, this is just a few things that I wanted to bring out to all you guys when you are running your affiliate pay-per-call offers. So with that said, I will see you guys in the next video.
Hey guys, Gene here. Welcome to the Ring Partner video. I'm just going to briefly talk about Ring Partner. It's one of the affiliate networks that we use here at Call Academy. I would say that these guys are the biggest in the business. They've been around since 2007-ish, I think. Canadian company. Huge selection of offers to test. And I just want to quickly give you a rundown of Ring Partner and some tips. I have a nice little keynote here to kind of help keep me focused a little bit. So a couple things we're going to talk about today real quick is applying to the network, getting set up, looking at some campaigns. We're going to talk a little bit about Invoca, which is the call tracking, and also it's more campaign management. And then some tips. I got lots of tips for you guys if your brand's spanking new. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on teaching you how to sign up to a website. It's kind of silly. So my recommendation is just go to the old sign up form, the application, and just fill it out. When you get inside Invoca, then make sure you do. There's a bunch of redirects and stuff. Make sure you get into your account settings and set up everything in here, okay? Now, I use mainly Palo. Palo is like the one place I focus my energy. I've ran on Ring Partner. I've ran some pest control stuff on Ring Partner, made a few conversions, and then quickly jumped over to something that I found, I got into rehab simply because I found it more stimulating because I can kind of understand the rehab people a little bit better. I wouldn't recommend getting into rehab right away, by the way. It's as I will speak about that near the end of this quick presentation, why you shouldn't get into rehab immediately. But just get in here, make sure you get your payment settings all squared away, get your account information all filled out. Keep this information handy. If you want, here's a little pro tip. If you want accelerated campaign approval, use this information once you've applied for a campaign, and the squeaky wheel will get the grease. I guarantee it. Okay. So we're in Ring Partners right now. How do we find a campaign? Well, there's two options here. There are campaigns that you have active right now. These are just some campaigns that I have active, and you can see I don't really run any calls or anything at the moment here. And then there's the Find Campaign section, which is another part of Invoca. So this is Invoca right here, actually. This Invoca is the call tracking portion of Ring Partner. Now, guys like Paylo and HyperTarget, they don't have this huge website like Ring Partner does, and then they're basically just a themed version of Invoca. So when you log into, say, Paylo, you're immediately here. This is where you start, as opposed to Ring Partner that's got all this complicated website stuff, and they just integrated Invoca into their website. If that makes any sense. But this is where we can pick our campaigns. We can peruse and look for offers to test. Like I said before, you're going to find that Ring Partner has just a huge slew of offerings here. I think right now they show 92. It looks like 92 offers available. I know this is, if you're coming from like a CPA network, which has like hundreds and hundreds of offers, I think the Ring Partners is probably more quality based. You'll find out too, because they are pretty strict with approvals and wanting to make sure that the quality is great. They just run a clean, tight ship. So, but out of most of the networks that you'll be working with, you're going to get the most here with respect to campaigns available. Let's see what I got going on here. So campaign overview. Okay, yeah. So let's just look at something real quick. When it comes time to pick a campaign, and these are some tips I've already got laid out that I was going to throw here in the end. Go through these carefully, but think about what you're interested in doing. Something that's going to hopefully drive a little bit of passion. That way, when you're doing a lot of work in your campaign, and you're doing a lot of work in AdWords, and you're doing a lot of keyword research, that you just don't burn out because it's something that's completely lame and irrelevant to you. I'll tell you right now that home services is the place to start if you're brand spanking new. Do not let these payouts deter you. There are guys who are making 4 figures a day or more on $5 payouts. Okay, and I got that information from Henry at Ring Partner. So there's guys out here that are making tons of money with these low payout calls, because a lot of people are attracted to the bigger payouts, but they're also way more complicated, way more competitive, and highly scrutinized calls. So they're a lot harder to convert. And home services, it's one of those categories that's evergreen. That is there's always going to be a huge volume, a huge demand for, and so it's just a good place to start. High conversion rates, competition's a lot lower, and you're just going to have a better experience. Okay, so let's see here. So this is just a campaign overview. So when you get into a campaign, when you're researching a campaign to run, you're gonna get on this page here, and this page is pretty much gonna tell you what you can and can't do. So my recommendation is read these, read this information over and over and over. There's so many clues that could help you out in here, and a lot of times, what's really good about Ring Partner is that they do a really good job fleshing out this information. I've ran across some things like, say, on Paylo where the information is very broad, not specific, and it leads us as marketers to draw conclusions which are usually wrong. So just be careful when you're reading this stuff, that you really thoroughly understand what they're looking for, and if you have any confusion or if you have questions, then reach out to your affiliate marketer or your affiliate manager and get some clarity on. I've gone as far as pulling a test call and speaking to those guys, telling them who I am on the other end, and then going and then hanging up so they can call me back. That way they don't get charged for the call, so that they can explain to me what they're looking for. And the things that they were looking for had nothing to do with what was in the overview. So that's just another tip. When you're starting to apply for things and you're looking at things to run, you can run a test call to your cell phone and talk to these people on the phone and just tell them who you are. Tell them you're a media buyer and you're running traffic for, through Ring Partner, and you're just interested in knowing like what exactly it is that they're looking for in terms of a lead. Because when it's all said and done, your goal isn't to trick anybody into calling. Your goal is to deliver high quality traffic to the offer owner, which is also called the buyer. And if you're not doing that, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're not going to get paid, and you're just going to be marked a bad marketer, and nobody's going to want to work with you. So your real goal should be doing how can I best serve this buyer so they'll continue to work with me, and you'll be incentivized for that too. You can ask for pay bumps. You can get weekly payouts when things are rolling in good just by delivering that quality. You want to make this a win-win. Just things to think about when you start running these things. We're doing pay per call, so most of this stuff does not apply to us. SMS and email. But if you have, say, a website, or you're thinking like a little more long term, and you're going to build out a website that's surrounding your vertical, your niche, you want to make sure that you're just compliant. And Ring Partner is really strict on creative approval. Well, I can't say really strict. Sometimes, if you have an affiliate manager you're talking to on Skype, which we can hook you up with through Call Academy, then a lot of times they'll just be like, send us your landing page URL and how you plan on running it, and then usually you get blessed pretty quick and easy. Just look at, just make sure that you click show all, and just pay attention closely and look at what you can do and what you can't do. If you're an emailer, it's not going to work, those kinds of things. Of course, we're doing calls, so we're always safe. They really like our lead quality from pay-per-call or click-to-call, depending on how you want to look at it. Another really important thing to consider is the hours of operation. This is how you would set your campaign up, because you definitely don't want calls outside of this window, because you will not get paid. So in your AdWords settings, when you set up a campaign, you need to adhere to these very important details. Some campaigns are very geo-specific. So certain regions of the U.S., I like to stick with the larger, target everything. You're just going to have better scale there. However, there's those hot pockets of profitability that a lot of people aren't focusing in on. So if you want to take advantage of that, you can do that also. But just pay attention to where you can run. That way you can set up your campaign to run there. The hours of operation. That way you're not sending calls at the wrong time. I think I've messed up just about every one of these. Payout is really important. So there's a difference between, you have these connect durations that are important. So like this payout is like if the guy's on the phone, if a homeowner's on the phone for greater than 2 minutes with the connection, then you're going to get paid. That doesn't typically include the IVR, so the phone tree, the interactive voice response. I think that's what it is. So you got to make sure that call is over 2 minutes. And the big thing with this game is, okay, what keywords are going to drive the average consumer to be on the phone for greater than 2 minutes? And so that's kind of where you should be focusing, is lead quality, because anything over 2 minutes means it's a good lead. And it's not that hard to get there. I mean, it really isn't. No payout after 30 days. It just means, they're trying to avoid customer service calls, and they don't want you, you send a lead, say for like an appliance repair or something, and 22 days goes by, and then the refrigerator isn't working again. And that guy whips out his phone and he uses your phone number to call back. That's not going to count as a payout. So you just have to take that into consideration. If you start throwing your hands up in the air and going, why am I not getting paid out for this call? Two things. One, it was probably outside of the scope of your hours of operation, or it could have been a repeat caller. Okay? And then when it comes time to apply, they're going to ask you a couple of things. They just want to know how you're going to plan to promote it, and and throw your landing page in there. So I usually just go, pay-per-call on AdWords, and here's my landing page. Now, and then you put your landing page here, whatever. And one of the big things that that it's kind of funny because really nobody's ever going to look at your landing page through Google AdWords click to call, right? But AdWords needs it for quality score purposes, and then I don't know why payload or why the ad networks need it, but they request it, and it's just the way it is. And then once that's all done, then you hit apply to network, and I'm not gonna apply this, but you click apply to network, and then it's kind of a waiting game. And then another tip is definitely get in there and where is it? Yeah, call them up. You can call, and that's really a good thing. Call them up, get on the phone with them, talk to them. Once you're approved, then you can assign yourself a promo number, and that's really self-explanatory. It doesn't take much to figure that out. Just a couple of tips. So that's kind of like Ring Partners in a nutshell. So go really common sense. Go apply for Ring Partners. Get in there and fill out all your account information, your payment information. Just get that stuff knocked out right away. And then jump in and look for a couple of offers that you think would be interesting. I think I got this connection. See, I talked about that. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a good question. But yeah, anyway, look for 2 or 3 campaigns and focus in on those 2 or 3 campaigns and making them great. Home services is a really good place to start. Not only is it newbie friendly, but you're going to get your offer approved pretty quick, and then the conversion rates are pretty decent. So, and you can collect more data because the payouts are typically cheaper, which means the cost per click is going to be a lot more affordable, as opposed to say like rehab or any of these higher payout offers, like lawyers and divorce lawyers and stuff, attorney stuff, where a click is like anywhere from like $10 on up, so just be careful there. And then another tip: avoid information seekers when you start your campaigns. This is really important because a lot of people are just looking for information, and you just don't want to set up your ads to go, hey, click here to learn more, or call us to learn more. You really want to prepare them for the purchase, so like, hey, if you need a pest control expert, you need somebody to get that raccoon out of your backyard, call now to schedule an appointment. We were looking for those people with a high intent, like I need something done right now. And we don't need tire kickers and looky-loos calling our numbers, because nobody's making any money with that. So just something to consider. What do top performers do that most people don't? This is really important. And this is what Henry at Ring Partners said. He said, don't be shy. Talk to the networks. Get information. Figure out, just create a relationship with your affiliate manager. Be a squeaky wheel. Just stay in the loop. Turns out the top performers are always working on getting more information. They're always working on relationships. Next time, Affiliate Summit East or Affiliate Summit West rolls around, go to it. LeadsCon, go to it. Reach out to these people, shake their hands, and you're going to see improvement. Don't be a lone wolf. Don't be that introverted person that's just afraid to talk. You're not going to survive in this business if you think that way. Okay, so you're going to have to take a little risk and step outside of your shell and start communicating with people. And that's just a fact. It's just a fact. And if you can't do that, then you should consider getting some coaching or something so you can do that. I would never tell you to quit, but I would tell you that you need to start working in that area. It's really important. What else? I think that's about it. So Ring Partner is a great place to get started. You're going to learn a lot from Ring Partner, and I think you're going to, have good offerings, especially in the home services if you're brand new, and it's a good place. It's a good place to get your feet wet. And, they disapprove a lot, which is a good thing, because they want to train you in thinking like, lead quality is number one. You got to be professional. You got to work your way through this. And that, and I like that, because that just means, if you don't meet the requirements or the expectations, then you just need to work on raising yourself up. a little bit more, okay? And this is a good place to learn that skill. So I hope this helped. If I were you right now, I'd go to ringpartner.com and sign up, okay? And get started. Start perusing. Like I said, home services is a great place to start if you're brand spanking new, for the number of reasons listed here. Okay? Talk to you later, guys. I'm Gene, and thanks for watching. Cool. Okay, right on. I think we got it. Okay, guys. Hey, welcome to Module 1. This is video 3, I think. We're going to do a quick campaign overview. I want to show you briefly an example of what a pay-per-call campaign looks like. And if you haven't gotten it by now, well, this video will get it to sink in. Know what I'm saying? Okay, so the screen over here on the left is essentially representing an iPhone. So I'm using this Chrome extension that's called User Agent Switcher, and it's just connected. It's just switched over to the iPhone. And if I were to do a quick search for solar power Monterey, for example, of course it doesn't work when you need it. Normally you'd get a pay-per-call. Maybe it's just too late in the afternoon and people have shut off their campaigns, but normally you'd get a pay-per-call advertisement in this section, a little call symbol here. It looks something like this, and you may have seen this when you've tried to order pizza on your phone, or you've had an emergency plumber come out and get the job done. You type in something, all of a sudden this thing pops up and you place the call, and most of the time people, they don't even pay attention and realize it's an ad. This is where you and I come in. We are supplying these advertisements. We are the affiliates that are pushing these advertisements. So how do we get an advertisement like that in front of people with high intent who are ready to push that call button and get on the phone and get somebody out there to fix the house or install some solar panels or what have you? Well, it's pretty straightforward. There's a couple of things you're going to need. Of course, that's always convenient. But there's a couple things you're going to need. You're going to need a website or a landing page. And what I have here is a PLR, so a private label rights website that I purchased for like 20 bucks and installed in about 20 minutes. And then I built out this page. It's got my offer phone number on it. You're going to need an offer, so you can get something. You can get an offer from Ring Partner. I'm going to do a little video on Ring Partner here shortly, but this is an affiliate network, a really good affiliate network that I recommend you sign up for ASAP, and it'll allow you to apply for offers that you can run on your website, which connects to your AdWords campaign. So this is just a dummy solar panel offer campaign that I have inside my AdWords account, and we configure our AdWords to work with our landing page, and then AdWords will start to serve up this advertisement. Well, not this one exactly, obviously. So that's kind of it. That's kind of the idea, the pay-per-call campaign strategy. So what we're going to do here in the next 5 modules is show you how to get this all set up. So I don't want to get into too much detail with respect to what you're looking at here. It can look kind of intimidating, and in fact, this is just one way to start a campaign. There are simpler, easier, less expensive ways to run an AdWords campaign. You can see in here I have probably, let's look at keywords, probably thousands of keywords in here that we got from SpyFu. That's where we're going to get most of our keywords. We're going to get them from SpyFu. And you can see that from these keywords, there's a couple of exact match and phrase match. I didn't do any broad match modifiers or broad match in this campaign. Things that you will learn later down the road. I just want to give you a very top level view of what a campaign looks like. You know, if I were here in Ring Partner and I'm in the campaign section and I'm applying to campaigns, I'd end up here. And then if I wanted to do a quick, say I wanted to run solar panels, like a solar panel offer, and maybe they should have a solar. What? Oh my God. Maybe because I'm already applied, I have their campaign. So I haven't ran on Ring Partners in a long time. I run exclusively on Palo right now. And but I have some offers here, and it's funny because I still get phone calls and conversions coming in from the website, and I haven't ran any traffic on these things in a long time. And I think that's one of the valuable things for having a website, because I'm not running any traffic, and yet people are calling me. So that's kind of cool. It's one of the nice things of having a website as opposed to a landing page, is the traffic that's free. But so let's just say you wanted to run solar power. So you want to get into the solar power niche, and that is your vertical. That's what you want to run, right? That's just like, this is what I'm going to do. So you could apply for an offer. Chances are, if it's nothing too risky or too expensive like rehab, you'll get approved for the offer. Then you could create yourself a phone number. This one, so like I would come in here and I go, okay, we're going to be doing pay-per-call, and so mobile. We can just say mobile search, and then just call this Google pay-per-call. Save, and then bam, it'll give you a phone number. You take this phone number and you build out a landing page, and this is a Google compliant landing page, and this is what you would use in your campaign. So when you're creating ads, gosh, I can't believe you gotta go do that. When you click on your ads and you're working in an ad, it's going to ask you ultimately, eventually, what page are you going to use, your verification page, and then you can set a little conversion action down here, and then all goes well and everything's compliant and Google is happy, then you will start showing up over here. You can get involved in the auction, the keyword auction, where you can bid on keywords and hopefully make some of those conversions, and we'll show you how to do that. So it's not that hard, really. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to take you by the hand, walk you step by step through the whole process, and you'll be on your way to making some money in pay-per-call. One of my favorite types of affiliate marketing, honestly. I have been doing this for a little while. I've failed most of my career. In fact, I got started like 10 years ago, and really started inserting myself the last 6 months. And I met Paul, and Paul has showed me pay-per-call. And out of all of the things that I've experimented with, trying to find what resonates best with me, I have to say, I thought native was really cool, but I think this is 10 times, 100 times better, because the conversions happen really quick. You're dealing with the highest quality traffic, which is just Google intent. The Google intent there is so high that when people are searching for, I don't know about children's toys, right? But when people are searching for pest control, or they're searching for a plumber or an emergency dentist, or they're trying to get into rehab, they're looking for, a lot of the times with the right keywords, they're looking to talk to somebody on the phone. So you're taking a lot of the frustration of convincing somebody to take action out of the equation. This game is more of, how can I do better than my competition? How can I work on keyword phrases that are, let's say, out of scope of what my competition are using, so I can get an unfair advantage somewhere else? It's a lot easier, in my opinion. There's no, the marketing psychology is at like the ad level, and they're writing these creative landers and trying to convince people to buy insurance or buy diet pills or what have you. It's pretty good. High intent. I like to think of it as like high intent marketing, and so the conversion rates are high. So now you're just becoming better at testing and optimizing and figuring out what works, understanding the mechanics. You're still spending money. You're not going to be, you're probably not going to be profitable right out of the gate. You're going to buy data and you're going to figure out what's working, but it just takes a lot of the frustration and confusion out of the more advanced topics like native advertising and some of the things you have to do on Facebook as well, which can get kind of tricky. So I really like pay-per-call, and really the hardest part, honestly, is once you get set up, is learning how to become an optimization wizard, learning how to test and optimize in AdWords. And I've been doing pay per call for roughly a month, and now I'm profitable. It took me a month and a couple of grand to wrap my brain around it, and this is before we had a course. So this is some guided tutelage from Paul, and and Paul's not holding my hand every step of the way. Paul is giving me some pointers, and he's sending me off on my own to figure it out, because it's really important in this business that you gain a fundamental understanding, the concepts. Like this stuff has to get burned in your brain, and you have to become obsessed with it to really understand it, because there is no formula or cookie cutter recipe that's going to help you succeed. And that's what we're doing here. We're going to teach you some concepts and some strategies, but it's really on you to take it the extra step and truly master what you're doing here. And that really comes with time and money, unfortunately, but that's just life. Pick any vertical, any niche, pick any type of affiliate marketing, and I guarantee you just have to learn it. You just have to learn it, and it takes time and money, because in this world, we're in the world of spending money so we can learn. You see, but this is the fastest way to profitability, in my opinion. Pay-per-call is honestly the fastest way to profitability over anything else that I can think of. And not only that, you're working with these legitimate white hat offers where, the boring niches pay the bills. I'm serious. The boring niches pay the bills. Pest control and solar panels and addiction rehab and appliance repair. There's nothing. It's so vanilla, but you know what? This stuff works. And I'm proud to say that, by doing this, it's like, you're helping out the local businesses in these regions and these areas. And once you get to like the module 7, where we're working offline with local businesses, then you become an asset to the community. Who would have thought an affiliate marketer would be an asset to the community? You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm going to stop rambling. I know I tend to do that. Sorry about that. But this is just a good idea of what a pay-per-call campaign is going to look like. This is the ad. This is the landing page. This is where you get the offer. This is the phone number of the offer, so you can put it on the landing page, and then you go in here and you set up a campaign. Okay? I hope that helps. I hope that kind of gives you an idea and demystifies what you're about to get yourself into a little bit more. This, I do believe, concludes module 1. So the next module 2, will be about affiliate networks. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into, Ring Partner and Paylow and Hyper Target. See, we only work with three networks right now, and it's just because Paul is buddies with the owners, and that just gives us access to good offers. And not only that, it just really speeds things up. So that's the reason why we're working with those 3, and they pay on time every time, and they're not into scrubbing, because we can see that. Unlike affiliate networks where it's kind of a black box, we can see when the calls were made, we can see how long the calls lasted, we can listen to the calls through Retriever and know when something occurred, and we can demand our payouts, which is great. This is one of the benefits of working in pay-per-call as opposed to like a CPA offer. Sound good? Okay, great. I will see you in the next module, or Coach Paul will see you there to start talking about affiliate networks. Okay, take it easy. Talk to you later. I'm Gene.
All right, guys, what's going on? Paul here. Wanted to make this video kind of a little bit of a lesson on getting good ads for your campaigns. It's very important with pay-per-call or call generation in general to be able to have the right calls coming into your offers at your affiliate networks, which go to the call centers, or your offline clients. So with that said, just going to go through a little bit of a rundown, kind of how I would at least start the preliminary phase of testing ads, how to go about finding some of them, why I go through the process that I do, and kind of just run with what you find. So the first thing I did is I'm going to use Rehab for this demonstration, whether it's an offline rehab center you're working with, or it is pay-per-call buyer, or whatever the case may be. So I have my little Chrome user agent switcher here. I went over, changed it to an iPhone, started typing in some keywords, and I'm going to just use these two ones marked with the call advertisement notifying me that it's a click to call ad. So I'm going to run with these real quick. I'm going to type this in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and look at the AdWords history. And this shows all the ads that this particular person has been using on various keywords here. So as I click these, what I'm looking for is, first off, if I'm doing a click to call ad, I want some form of call to action that indicates a call. A couple that I've used or have used in the past that seem to work well, anything that says something along the lines of call now, tap to call, click to call, speak to a representative, anything that indicates talking to someone at this time, or the fact that they are going to be talking to someone when they click the ad, is something you guys really have to focus on. It's going to refine the quality of the clicks quite a bit just off the bat. So with that said, you want to keep in mind the type of offer that you're targeting as well. For instance, a lot of rehab call buyers, some are only going to take PPO insurance, some are only going to take HMO, or both. Some have to have insurance required. Some take government insurance. So these are all things you want to be targeting in your ads to refine the clicks coming in, or the calls coming in, as best you can to make sure you're generating good quality calls, but also not spending money, that ad spend that you have in your budget, on garbage clicks coming in, basically. So what I would do for here is I would probably open up like a notepad. Let me make this smaller. Just open up something like Notepad. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy some of these. Copy them in, as you can see here. I'm looking for ones like I can see here. This person clearly started this one at the beginning of the year. This isn't as relevant of an ad that I would personally test, but this is just for an example. This next one, I'll add this one. We'll just do a few examples. And we will also come over here and we will run this person through SpyFu as well. So we can see this person clearly hasn't run as many ads. So let's see what they have. Here's one that says call for help. This is a decent one to look into getting, or at least look into testing. Let's see if they have any others. Looks like this is all the same ad right here. Let me see. See if we can find any others real quick. Looks like it's kind of digressed. So obviously some of these look like these are just desktop ads, but we'll work with this right now. So as you can see here, these URLs we don't really need to look at. So we can see here, alcohol and drug treatment is the headline. Premier Addiction Rehab, call now, up to 100% covered, no money down. The next one mentions PPO, call now. Addiction treatment, call us first, we can help you now. Most of these, like this one's not that great, honestly. I would just delete this. Insurance friendly, medical detox, free consultation, call for help. So as you guys research these ads, take into consideration how long they've been running, what the percentage of ads they serve are, like you can see here. This is number 4 of the 20th position. 17% of the ads served is this ad within this keyword group. So if you see some ad that's been running for quite a long time, it probably indicates that whoever's been running it has refined this ad down and generates a pretty good quality conversion off of that ad. All these people have been spending tens of thousands of dollars testing ads. There's no real sense in just coming up with some random ad to test, just off a whim. For yourself just to test. So what I would probably do is I would test a couple of these and then create something similar to my own, or something similar to these but make it my own. So I would do something like, and granted the character, it might not be the exact character match that AdWords allows you guys to have, so this is just an example. Don't be like, oh, that's not the right amount of characters. It's just an example. Calm down. All right, so I would say something like alcohol treatment center. All right. Depending on my offer, let's just say it was a rehab offer on a pay-per-call network that only accepted private insurance, right? So I would say something along the lines of, let me see, I'm trying to grab a good phrase here. Something like addiction treatment you need, private insurance only, call now for help. Something along this line. So I know that I will be testing, 3 or 4 decent ads that have been tested by other people. And then I would kind of add in my own ad as kind of like a benchmark, see how it stacks up to other ones that have been run before. And this is just a quick rundown of at least how to get started looking for your ad. So the main things to draw from this would be, use the money and data that these other people have tested for an extended period of time to kind of get you the ball rolling in terms of ads. And take the good things that you notice from these ads and try to create like a benchmark type ad for yourself and, see how it stacks up. So we'll get into a little bit more detail with the intricacies of ads as time goes by, but this should help you guys at least start with some of your campaigns and ad groups. So with that said, I will check you guys later in the next video.
Hello everybody, it's Kenny here from Call Academy. I hope before coming to this video you've had a look at my video on setting up your AdWords campaign. It'll make a lot more sense if you do, so go back and have a look at that if you haven't. This video is just a quick video on conversion tracking, which is basically allowing Google to track the conversions of your calls. So Google will actually track how long the call duration, it will assign it to a keyword, to an ad set, it will assign it to the ad as well. So it really helps for optimizations at a later date. Very, very, very important. So we'll go in straight and have a look at how we can do this. So you might remember this ad, this random ad and ad set that I created in the previous video. So if we scroll up to tools, and we go to conversions here, and wait for it to load. Right. So what we're basically doing at this stage is creating a new conversion here in the top right. Click on phone calls because we want to track phone calls for our pay-per-call campaign. And what you want to click on is calls from ads using call extensions or call only ads. We're using call only ads, so you click this one, click continue. You want to name the conversion, right? So what I would do at this point is name it something related to my campaign. So let's say we're setting up a campaign. We'll just stick with rehab. So rehab campaign, and let's say the buyer wants calls over 90 seconds for conversion. So I'll put 90 seconds here, and I might put buyer one for the buyer, or you might have a number of buyers, so then I'll just leave it blank. All right. So enter how much each conversion's worth to your business. I don't usually assign values here because obviously it's tracked elsewhere. So I just put don't assign a value. So choosing the call length here, as we said, 90 seconds. So I'd probably set this here to 91 seconds just to ensure, just to give it a little bit of leeway. I think it's a little bit more accurate when you do that. Okay. Count. So we want every single conversion counted once. So we want you. So this is basically unique conversions. So we want unique conversions. So already selected as one. So we click done. For conversion window, you can basically pick a number of things here, but I just leave it on 30 days. I think that's best. Let's just leave it on 30 days for conversion window. It's already on category lead, and that's what we want. We want it as a lead. So we're basically selling these calls, their leads, basically to the buyer. And lastly here, include as conversion. This basically is what we're looking for optimization. This is basically saying every time a conversion comes in, a call over 90 seconds, assign that in the conversions column, which goes against our keywords, our ad sets, and our ads. So that's very, 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 very important. And then we can just go to save and continue. So yeah, save and continue. So just to recap on some of the things there, we're picking track phone numbers from call only ads. So when you're setting it up, you make sure you pick that on the three options that it gives you. Set all conversion lengths. So basically the 90 seconds, it will be different depending on what type of campaign you get into. Some might be on a raw call, some might be 30 seconds, some might be 60, 90 seconds, some could be 5 minutes. You want to pick unique conversions only. You don't want conversions counted multiple times. A 30-day conversion window. You want to choose lead when you're setting up your conversions. And you want to include the conversion data in the conversion column. Okay, so something to remember at this stage with caller only campaigns, you're not paying for a call. You don't pay, the cost per click isn't for a call. I would like it to be per call, but currently it's still per click. So somebody may click on your ad and decide not to call or hang up just before it rings, you've still paid for that click. You don't pay for the call. So that will be the misalignment between how many clicks you see here on Google versus how many calls that actually come through. So the discrepancy will be the people that may have hung up or may not have followed through with the call, basically. Okay, so this is basically setting up your conversion tracking. What you'll do at this point is go back to your campaign that we set up previously. If you look at my last video, you saw that we set up a dummy campaign. So we'll go back to that campaign here. We set up an ad. Don't worry that this ad was disapproved. It's because it was all this dummy data here, so it was never going to be approved anyway. You can't do certain things like that, I think. But what we want to do here is, now we've set up that new call conversion, it will be here. So you can edit things there, rehab 90 seconds. Okay. And then you'll just go to save ad. As I said, don't worry about this getting disapproved. There will be more videos on actually setting up an ad, just focusing on the ad. This video and the previous one was just setting up the initial campaign and setting up conversion tracking. So you'd want to use all this information together to put it all together and launch a successful campaign and company here. Okay, so take care and we'll see you in the next video. Hello everybody, Kenny here from Call Academy. Hopefully you've had a look at the Google AdWords overview before coming to this video. This will make a lot more sense. In this video, we're going to quickly have a look at setting up your call only campaign. Okay, so the first thing to think about is you need to select call only campaign. So as I said in earlier videos, with this campaign, when they see your ads after searching various search terms on Google, they'll go straight to call. So they won't land on your landing page, they'll go straight to call. So you need to check call only campaign when setting up your campaign. Okay. If you have an existing campaign that's not call only, you can actually convert that to call only also. Okay. You need to make sure you uncheck Google search partners. You want the Google search network only for this campaign. Okay. And the ads that you actually deploy through this search only campaign will only be seen on mobile devices or devices that can use the call function. I'm pretty sure going forward there'll be more and more devices that can use the call function. So let me just go to AdWords to show you. Okay, so this is one of my AdWords accounts anyway. Here, this red button, you can see campaign plus. So I go to search network only. Okay, as you see here, it says Google search network and search partners. But as I said in the presentation, you want to turn that off. So we can call this something random. So call it random 1. You click on call only ads here. Okay. Changes you've already made to this page will be lost if you switch campaign. That's fine. We haven't actually done anything at this point. So click OK. Okay, so here's where you have to, this is what you have to turn off. So search, Google search network, include search partners. We want to take search partners away for this ad, for this campaign. Okay, let's just set this campaign up for the United States. Okay. Usually when I start this, I'll click to maximize clicks because obviously you're first testing some ads, some keywords. You want to see what has the best CTRs so you can optimize, and we'll create another optimization video at a later stage. So I'll just leave it on that. Budget for the day, let's just put something random in, like 400 a day, or the max and max CPC, let's put 6. This is just all random really. Right, so let's just assume this campaign ran from today, every single day, 24 hours really. and you just click save to continue. So that's basically the initial campaign setup. It's really important you pick the call only. It's really important you turn the search partners off before going into setting up the ad groups and setting up the ad, which I'll show you right now. So when setting up a call only campaign, um, first thing to think about is to follow all the standard practices that I explained in the previous slide. Things like the call only campaign and taking off Google search partners, etc. Um, then it's really going into things about the ad itself. So you'd have to add a business name into the ad. Um, it says on Google that it may be shown in the ad, but I haven't personally seen it before. Maybe I haven't noticed it. But the business name has to be the business name of your actual business. So the name of your domain, you'd want to put here as the business name. Okay. The tracking phone number is something that now replaces the main headline. I'll show you all of this in a second. The display URL. I put mini call to action there because you can do things like the display URL of your domain / call now, just so people can. It's like an additional thing to target people to let them know that if they click this ad, they will be calling. Okay. The verification URL is something used by Google to verify that it's your site. So as I said, in the previous video, if you scroll back to the video of compliant websites, it's all about really owning your site so you have full control. You need to prove to Google that you own the site. So putting this verification URL does that. One thing I'd potentially do before doing this is actually linking your Google AdWords to your Google Webmaster Tools, what it used to be called, or Google Search Console, what it's now called. And then obviously you put your site there. Google now knows you own the site. So by the time you put this verification URL in that's linked to your Search Console, it's pretty straightforward. So the verification URL is put there in the ad as well. It's not displayed on the ad, only the display URL is. Okay. And the last thing is conversion tracking. We'll go over that in the next video, but I'll show you where that goes in the ad. Okay, so let's just quickly flick back. So this is the business name. So if I quickly flick to this site, which I showed you in the previous video on building a compliant, Google compliant pay-per-call website, I'll use this as an example. So addiction support today is the business name. Addiction support today. The description, I'm just going to put something random in here. Get support today. Call us now. So you can see these two lines here for description line 1 and description line 2. You can see here. I've added a phone number here, you can see, which is the phone number on the site. So it has to be exactly the same, because when you put the verification URL in, Google will look at the site to see if the number here is the same as the one on the website. So that's very important. You can see here that it's taking over the main headline. Okay. So the display URL is basically the display URL of the website. So addictionsupport.com, and the mini call to action will be call now, and you can see that there. So it kind of works as an additional call to action along with what I've put here in the description line too. Verification URL. So what we need here is the whole domain plus the http://addictionsupporttoday.org. So that's what that's what Google are going to use to actually verify your site. Okay, so we did speak about conversion tracking earlier. Now I'm going to go over conversion tracking in another video, but just to quickly show you where it goes. So you'd want show my ad with Google forwarding number. That forwarding number basically just says, hey Google, track my details here so you can actually look at it on your platform. So you can use a Google platform to have a look at some of your tracking. There are other tracking tools that we use that we'll be going over in other videos also. But for now, report conversions, count call as a phone called conversion. So I'm going to basically pick a conversion tracking that I've set up previously. So let's just put 30 seconds. So this basically says that when I get a call through to one of my buyers, when it lasts 30 seconds plus, that's a conversion. So Google will record that conversion by the keywords, by the ad group, so you can kind of know what keywords are doing the best against what ads, for example. Sometimes what I do when I want to find really good keywords, I might set this 30 seconds to 20 minutes so I can really flush out which keywords give a great high volume of quality calls. Okay. And just to scroll down to finish this whole ad set and ad setup is to enter a keyword basically. If you go back to the video Paul did on SpyFu and actually looking at some of your competitors in the space, you'll have a ton of keywords to add here from the very beginning. At this stage, because you want to potentially split things up into ad sets, I might just put one keyword, let's say rehab addiction for now, just to get it set up. The idea here is to get everything verified and to make sure Google are happy, and then I'll go to save ad group and submit it basically. So that's it set up. If you go into, that's a keyword, if you go into the ads section here, you can see that it's currently under review. So this would be Google looking into things, having a look to see if everything's in place and if they're happy with everything, if the ad is compliant. And then it's basically just a waiting game. Google are very good at approving things. They're round the clock. So you'll be good. If you wanted to go back and check things or change things in settings, you'll go to settings, change campaign settings, and you can change all the things here. For example, USA, what country, the daily budget, things like the ad delivery when I clicked optimize for clicks, the ad schedule. So let's say your buyers say, actually, we don't want any calls on a Monday. You can just X out Monday and click save. Okay. So on the next video, it will be on conversion tracking to fully understand how to set that up and how to put that back into this into your campaign. Another thing I'd say at this point is if I was to edit this ad right now, and I set up and I changed the metric for conversion from 30 seconds to 300 seconds or 3000 seconds, I'd go back into the ad and basically change it on the drop down and it will come up here. Okay, so you can edit, it will go up for resubmission again, but as I said, Google is very fast with things. Okay, so I'll leave it at this stage and I'll see you in the next video on conversion tracking. Take care.
Hey guys, it's Paul here. Wanted to take some time out, show you a little bit about the tool I use called SpyFu, which is a AdWords spy tool. There are other spy tools out there that work well also. Keyword Spy is a good one that I've used before. Espionage is another good one. But personally, I like SpyFu. Every spy tool does things a little bit differently. Keyword Spy tends to have a little bit better metrics on Bing for their the volume of keywords. It seems to be a little bit more up to date. But SpyFu, I really like it for AdWords, and it has some neat features inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically show you as if I was going to either be making my own campaign straight from SpyFu, or just simply looking to add more keywords or refine my own campaign, things of that nature, just to show you kind of how I would use it. So for the sake of an example, let's just say I'm working on my rehab campaign. As you guys talk to me, you'll see that as far as campaigns go, I work on a few certain niches. I personally like rehab, just due to the high payouts in the vast amount of buyers that are within rehab. So with that said, let's take rehab for instance. And what I typically do, and this is just a quick example. This can go, extremely in depth and can consume some time looking for these ads. But basically, what I want to do is I start by finding a competitor in here, and I'm going to put a competitor's URL in here. But how I want to do that is I actually want to look on a mobile device. Now you can use your phone to look up these ads, to look for competitors, but there's also a Chrome user agent plugin here. And what we do is we open this up. I'll put it in a new tab. Oops. Well, actually, this just shows you what it's called, actually, so that's good. But what I'm going to do is I'll go over here to Google, and we will ignore this call. But anyways, we are going to switch over here to an iPhone 6. So this is going to change this whole browser, right? So what this is going to do is we'll search. I'm in New Jersey, so let's just search New Jersey drug rehab facility. Okay, so I'm typing in a keyword. What I'm looking for are any ads with these call boxes here. This means these people are using click-to-call campaigns. Okay, so naturally, I know that they're going to be bidding on keywords that I want for my campaign. So for the sake of this, let's take and this is another good point too. Now that I'm looking at this, when you guys are spying on other campaigns, if you look at the actual phone number that's being used, if it's 844-855-866 and 877, and it could be 888 as well. Those are typically voice over IP numbers for the most part. And these, I would say 60-70% of the time are affiliates. So you'll see right here, this turningpointnewjersey.org. This is a 973 number it's directing to. This is probably the actual drug rehab facility where these guys right here, well, let's take a look. Let's see what their site is. I can tell pretty quickly. So right away, goes to something that's not found. Looks like they're kind of like keyword stuffing in the bottom. This could actually be an affiliate site. So let's take their website, for instance. So we put in, we changed our user agent to an iPhone, or you could look this up on your own phone. We found these guys because they have a call-only ad. We took their URL. Now we're going to pop it in here to SpyFu. Okay, so we're going to run this. Actually, let's take out this. We're just going to run the root domain. So as you can see here, and I haven't looked up these guys before, so we're all doing this together. So you can see here that they run nothing organically pretty much, which means they've set up the site purely for AdWords. But you can see right here, they bid on roughly 1,200 paid keywords every month. Usually it'll show budget. In this case, it shows that they've run for a year and 9 months. But what you can also do, which is great, is you can see the top paid competitors. Organically and paid. We really care about paid, but paid competitors, we can see what keywords all these competitors share. So there's a ton of good information here. The top keywords that they tend to bid on, all the way down to their ad history. This gives some SEO info. So anyways, for the sake of an example, let's look here. So these are all the current keywords these guys are bidding on, right? So for my campaign, I have payouts that range from $20 for a raw call all the way up to $300, $400, $500 for duration. So some of these costs per clicks are high and don't make sense for a raw call. However, I'm pretty sure that Florida addiction treatment, even though it's $136 CPC, probably going to be driving some pretty qualified calls. So I can see from recoveryadvisor.org that these guys are bidding on keywords that I personally would probably test out. So with that said, we can, if I wanted to use some of these, we can come over here to keyword groups. And I'll preface this by saying there's many keyword grouping tools out there. WordStream has a great one. I know Gene likes the WordStream one a lot. It's however your workflow goes, how you like to work when grouping keywords and ads and other things. So there isn't one way to do things best. There's many tools out there, and we're going to do videos on a lot of these tools just to give you guys like a taste of each one to see what works best for you. But with that said, to stay on topic here, we can see that each one here under the keywords, it grouped them accordingly, right? So under rehab, there's 473, right? And it breaks down even further to get a really tight-knit ad group. So under drug rehab, free drug rehab centers, free inpatient drug rehab, all you have to do is click the drop-down checkbox. It's going to select all these. We're going to export the current group. It's going to pop it in right here. And you can see right here, these are all the keywords just like that. And I can take these over to AdWords, pop them in, and just start testing them right away. So this saves a lot of time, and it's well worth, I think it's $79. It's well worth your time. And there's tons of other cool things you can do with this. I don't think this is a great example, but if we were to find, let's see if there's another one in here. Aid recovery. Take this over here. So we can see here, aidinrecovery.com. This is a great example, actually. We can see that there's 12,000 keywords. You can see their budget is just astronomical. Now, this is all estimated, so it's not exact, but it's a good guess. 36,000 clicks a month. So these guys know what they're doing. You can see on the chart the scale in which they're trending under 7 months. It's huge. These guys have a ton of keywords. So in my eyes, if I was starting a new campaign, these guys have spent so much money in testing these keywords. If these guys are running these keywords for a long time, I'm not sure if it, upon further research, if they're an actual drug rehab facility, they're going to have more money to play with. But this gives you a great upper hand in trying to scout out some of your own campaigns. So this was just kind of a quick little snapshot of how I use SpyFu. There's an ad history feature here on the side too. You can see where the people that are running these campaigns, when they use these ads, how long they're using them for, their typical cost per click, their daily clicks per ad, per keyword. I mean, it's just it offers a lot of great data for you guys. So with that said, hopefully this helps you guys, and we will see you in the next video. Okay guys, here we are in Retriever. Wanted to just kind of highlight some of the basics that you guys will need to start up your campaigns, start running them through Retriever, and start making your life a little bit easier when it comes to the ad networks and working with clients offline, working with networks, getting call recordings and other things like that. So it's a fairly easy system overall. It's pretty cheap too when comparing to other platforms such as Invoca, Dialog Tech, Call Rail, Call Fire. I'm not saying that any of those are bad, but this one is pretty inexpensive. It's all prepaid. You're not committing to any contracts or anything, and it works great. So how this works is you basically start by creating what's called a target, okay? So we are just going to fill this in with dummy information. None of this is actually going to go live. So I'm just going to put in a fake number here. In this, we'll just choose a vertical. We'll choose, I don't know, how about solar. So this is going to be solar buyer 1, okay? You can name your ID whatever you want, solar 1. And then these are the time zone settings. I'm on the East Coast, so I'm going to choose Eastern Time. A timeout setting. So basically how this works is you're going to be creating campaigns here that are going to have potentially multiple buyers inside of each campaign, multiple targets. And so these targets are going to be the promotional numbers you get from your networks, or you get a phone number, a lawyer or dentist or whoever you're working with offline gives you, and you want to start tracking these phone numbers and these calls and having transactional proof that these calls are coming in. So for instance, we're doing a solar buyer, so we're going to have a solar campaign on the top level, and let's just say you want to test multiple buyers at different times of the day between Ring Partner and Paylow Media, for instance. Okay, so a timeout feature right here. This is going to be the timeout for when, if a person does not pick up the phone on the other line, it's going to roll over to your next buyer. Typically, I leave this as default. This is fine. You can lower it a little bit more if you notice, the offers call center's having problems answering phones, but that's adjustable. In-band signal detection. To be honest, I haven't used this, so I'm not going to say to use this or not. You can test at your own risk. Timer offset. Don't really use this as well. Send digits is an interesting feature here. So send digits will actually bypass IVRs ahead of the caller. So when using this, use it wisely. Some people use this and they get a little greedy because they can bypass an IVR on, say, a raw call offer and just flood the call center with calls. However, that's the short-term game. It's really not going to work well for you guys if you're not sending some decent quality beforehand, okay? So what this does is say, with solar, the IVR says, if you live in the state of California, press 1. If you live in the state of Nevada, press 2. If you're driving calls only from California, you can put a 1 in here, and it will go ahead and press that IVR button before the caller even hits the IVR. So all the caller hears on the other end is just a ringing number, and that's it. So it is a cool feature. It can add a little bit to your bottom line overall. It can create a better user experience overall, but you just want to make sure that your quality is decent before using a feature like this. So for the sake of an example, we're just going to run a Monday through Friday campaign. And let's just say we're running it from 8 to, we'll just leave 8 to midnight. So we're going to set all these, so it's Monday through Friday, 8 to midnight. And these are the priorities and weights. A priority of 1, so if you have multiple priorities and you want to designate where calls are going to go, it has descriptions here on how to use that, pretty self-explanatory. A concurrency cap. A concurrency cap is basically when a call center says, hey, or an offer, or the network says, we only have 10 or 15 agents that can answer the phone at one time. you on your end, you don't want to be wasting your money that you're paying for clicks and whatnot on your end, sending to a call center that's not going to be able to pick up these calls. So if for instance, this is a concurrency of 15. Call center says, hey, we can only take 15 at a time. You set your concurrency cap to 15. And if you have multiple buyers, as soon as it hits 15 people on the line at one time, it's going to roll over to your next buyer and the next buyer and the next buyer and so on. So it's a really cool feature to save you money and spread the load of your campaign pretty evenly. We have some conversion metrics here. You're not really going to use that. Here's some capping features. These are all very self-explanatory. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and create this target right here. And we're going to go ahead and make another one. I'm just going to run through this real quick. So I'm just going to make another fake number. Okay. I'm going to call this Solar 2 to buyer. Solar 2. I'm going to make this East Coast time, Eastern time. We'll use this example again of using a send digit of 1. And this time, we're going to make it from, 1201 to, say, 7:59, right? So 7:59 in the morning, okay? Let's set these all down the line. And we are going to keep the priority and weight the same, and for the same sake we're going to use 15 as a concurrency cap. So we're going to create this right here. Okay, so what we've done effectively is we perhaps have 2 different offers within a network, or 2 different networks completely, 2 different solar offers, and these are both running at different times. I think I can add the times here, maybe not. They're running at 2 different times. So this one is running between 8 in the morning to midnight, and the other one is running 12:01 to 7:59. So if you have 2 different offers that only accept certain hours, this is a great way to keep your campaign running 24/7. So with that said, let's move over here to creating a top level campaign. Okay, so we're just going to call this Solar. We're just going to call it your Solar campaign. We're going to add your 2 buyers in here. So Solar buyer 1, Solar buyer 2. Okay. So with this said, you can add in your revenue. This is more of like a network feature. If you're receiving more than you're paying out, that's fine. But you can set your conversion metrics here. Let's make this campaign. Okay. So now that this is made, you can see here that when people are calling in, they are being routed to these 2 buyers, and based on the time frames that you set, it's going to go to each one in their respective time slot. So what we need to do then is we need to make our own affiliate account. We'll just call it, internal affiliate account. Okay. And we are going to use this to generate a number. So when we have made this account, what we are going to do is, actually, go to the campaign level. We're going to create a new number for the campaign, and we are going to select our internal affiliate account. You can select which prefix you want. Doesn't matter. They're all the same, honestly. So we're going to choose this number here. It's $1 to make the new number for yourself, just so you guys know. Costs $1. Okay. And then right here you can see this is our number. This is the number we're going to put on all of our ads. And it's going to run back through Retriever. We're going to get nice call recordings through everything. It's going to come up in here under call logs. It gives a wealth of information. I don't have anything here because it's a new account. But you can export CSV files. You can export recordings. Retriever hosts everything on Amazon Web Services. So all of your calls are recorded and hosted seamlessly. So you can just pull links and send them to people and say, hey, these were these calls for this month. It's very, very, very convenient overall. This is just a short breakdown of Retriever, though. There is, there's definitely more in-depth things that we can go over. But this is just kind of like a beginner version of this, but it is a great tool. And with that, I will see you guys in the next module. Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. I wanted to take this time out to record a video of one of our AdWords accounts running a click-to-call campaign to just give you some insight on what a working campaign kind of looks like, and a profitable campaign at that. I'll just preface this video by saying that this is a student loan consolidation campaign. It was run off a 60-second duration. Now, you guys should know that student loan consolidation in general is not liked so much by Google at this point in time. They've released newsletters about anything regarding loans or any type of debt forgiveness, payday loans, anything in the loan category or debt forgiveness, tax forgiveness category. They don't really like, people that are not accredited businesses to be running these type of campaigns. So I will say, if you run these type of campaigns, you can potentially get your account in trouble, which is why we kind of stopped this campaign. In fact, you can see this campaign's a little bit older, and we only ran it for a couple days. This is basically ran on like a Thursday, Friday, and like a Monday, Tuesday. So that's why I wanted to show you guys this campaign, because it is still very relevant. However, I'm not showing, various campaigns that are going on right now. So this isn't that deprecated of a campaign in terms of the core components that make up a good campaign. So I'm kind of going to run through various settings and show you what the ads look like, my negative keywords list, the search terms that were coming through, and kind of how I was refining it over just a few days. So when I was running this campaign, this was a $25 payout on a 60-second duration conversion with the network. So you can see right here, I broke it up into a few different categories. And granted, when I started running this, we ran it for a few days just because, at the end of, I think it was like the end of the 4th or 5th day, we were contacted by Google, and they said that, we shouldn't be running these keywords and whatnot. And at that point, we just said, for the sake of the account, let's not run student loan consolidation at this time. So this is just a very short test, to tell you guys the truth. But with that said, I put our conversion pixel within Google as a 60-second duration. Our payout was $25 per 60 seconds. These were the ad groups here. And we'll just run through this, and I haven't looked at this in forever. So we'll kind of look at this, both of us just kind of looking at this real quick for the first time, at least for me in a little bit. So you can see here, here were some of the keywords that I was bidding on, some of the clicks that were coming through. You can see there's a lot of broad match keywords coming through. I have some phrase match in here, some exact match. But basically how I was starting this campaign, so I was loading up a bunch of student loan keywords. My plan was to, have a bunch of these, the ad group is titled bulk consolidation keywords, put them all in here, see which ones were generating some traffic and then start extracting them into their own ad groups, creating their own ads for them. However, didn't get to that point because the campaign, we shut down the campaign. But with that said, you can see here some of these cost per conversions looks fairly decent based on a $25 payout. Consolidating student loans, we were paying, all of these were around an $8 CPC. You can see, 18 clicks came through, 11 actually converted, rendering a $10.89 CPC. So, off of this keyword, we were making roughly, $15, $15 or so, just off of that. You can see some of these were like private loan keywords that we were bidding on. And if we just sort by this cost per conversion, you can see some were really high. They weren't making the cut really. 9 clicks, 1 conversion. That one sucked. But when you look at some of these other ones, this is all pre-optimization, just so you guys know. Some of these were looking, decently promising, all the way down to direct consolidation for student loans. We got 3 clicks, 3 conversions, a $7.13 conversion rate, or CPA, cost per acquisition, for that lead. So this to me was looking pretty good. Kind of a bummer that it didn't work out. But this is the case for many of our campaigns that we run on a duration. You kind of just have to throw some crap at the wall and see what sticks at a certain point. So if we go back to the overall campaign, you can see this ad group right here rendered, obviously the majority of the spend. There was a couple others, testing some Obama facts. We can see some of the keyword research, some crap keywords came in. We paused those. But if we go back here, I will show you guys some of the keywords overall that you guys have seen that bulk consolidation ad group. But what I want to show you is some of the search terms that were coming through. So you can see some of these that say excluded, I was adding them to the negative keyword list. This offer in general had a negative keyword list they wanted you to abide by. So they don't want you bidding on Sally Mae, because those type of calls that come through, they're bad quality for the advertiser and they don't want to deal with it. So they had some that were on their list that I made sure was, being excluded on our end. And then there was just some crappy keywords that were coming through. I would listen to the calls, and these just sounded, pretty garbage, apparently. I didn't want to deal with one that just said student loans. Could be somebody just looking for a student loan. So that's not a very good keyword coming through. But just so you guys can see some of the keywords that were actually coming through. Like I said, don't be all, oh, you're bidding on federal loan payment. Like, I know some of this stuff is garbage. I'm just showing you guys a preliminary campaign for you guys to look at. So with that said, you guys can see all this data that was coming in. Still have some cost per conversion metrics over here. Overall, looking at this now, it probably would have taken me a couple more weeks. I'd like to get this CTR up to, say, 1.5, 2 to 3%. That's typically some click-through rates I try to hit. The impression seemed pretty decent, actually, that I'm looking at this. So there definitely was some hope, and to be honest, if we go back here, spent $1,900, $1,933, right? So, at $25 times, we have 125 recorded conversions. We made a little bit of money off this just in testing, made $1,000 or so in a couple days. So you can see just the inner workings of this campaign. Here are some of the ads you guys can look at. So you can see, let me just sort this by click-through rate. So it looks like a lot of these were, I was testing out some dynamic keyword insertion here. Tailoring some of the high click-through rate keywords I was getting. I was trying to match clearly Nelnet, student loan forgiveness, trying to match some of the keywords. So you can just see, that, this ad clearly didn't work the greatest if it was rendering a $23 conversion rate, but you can see some of the ones that were coming through that were okay. This one was obviously the main one. Consolidate federal student loans, tap to call for consolidation help. I will say you guys should try this tap to call. I use it in a lot of my campaigns. It works pretty well. But anyways, that's it for the most part. The only other thing I'd show you is just kind of the negative keyword list that we were working with within just a few days overall. So take this all with a grain of salt. Like I said, this ran for roughly 4 or 5 days. Through the testing, it made about $1,000 or $1,100 or so. And that's it. Just wanted to show you kind of the inner workings of a campaign that we ran. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend running student loan consolidation on AdWords anymore. They're kind of picky about it. You might cause yourself a headache. And with that said, that's it. All right, thanks, guys. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul with Call Academy. Wanted to make this kind of introductory video on a part of the call generation business that is pretty untapped at this point. It offers quite a lot of business opportunities for everyone involved to transport your knowledge of generating calls online and using that skill to be able to charge offline businesses that don't really know about the space, and leveraging what you know. So this is more of like an introductory video. We're going to be going pretty in-depth through our course with this over time, because there is so much opportunity here that you can make money hand over fist with not a ton of effort involved, just due to the fact that businesses value calls so highly. So just to get started in this, the reason why it's so hot, well, it's always been kind of a hot market in general. Any offline business that is around, everybody's trying to get more customers. That's why business groups such as BNI or Rotary or any of those small business groups exist, is to get more business for themselves, via referrals from other local businesses or whatever the case is. So, everybody really wants incoming calls from targeted customers. If you were to go to a lawyer and tell them that you could get them, 10 personal injury calls a month, and they know on their end that they're going to convert 20% of these calls typically, that could be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for the law firm. So this is just, a quick example, but all these offline businesses that are around all of us in your local community, doesn't even have to be in your local community. If you can offer them something they can't resist, they are definitely going to pay for it. And part of the reason why is, a lot of these business owners offline, they don't understand online marketing in general. So taking what through your marketing endeavors online or through our training platform or whatever, leveraging this with people that don't understand what and proving to them that you're an expert in this field, you're going to be able to demand a high dollar for your services. So just a little bit about this and who we want to target. We want to target offline businesses that have quite a high lifetime customer value. A couple reasons for this is, if you were to compare, say, a dentist versus, some local hamburger shop or whatever, some type of small food chain restaurant, a person that buys a burger at a fast food place, they're going to be spending $5 or $10, and that's what their customer value is worth at the time. However, if you talk to a dentist, I know this because I've worked with a bunch of dentists, somebody that is a new client to them, over the lifetime of all their cleanings and fillings and other things they get done at the dentist, like x-rays, a typical new customer coming in could be worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 over their lifetime, especially with insurances. So these are the type of people that we really want to target with our call campaigns. People like dentists, that you send them one customer that ends up being a client, and in their eyes they see that you sent them a call, and maybe you charge them $100 for a call, but on their end they just converted a $4,000 customer. So it's a no-brainer for them to sign up for your services. So here's a couple, there's a gigantic lists that we've come up with for, offline businesses to target, and we can share that list with you, but here's just a couple that have very high lifetime value or lifetime customer value. So you can see chiropractors, roofing, real estate, retirement housing, tile floor contractors, anything around the wedding niche or vertical. People spend tons of money on, just because it's the wedding day. And around the New York City area, some of these wedding venues, charge $50,000, $60,000 just for one wedding. So for you to potentially send over a bride or a bride's family interested in renting their facility for their wedding day, you're talking pretty high dollar calls that you can charge these people. Mortgage, refinancing, that's always big. Lawyers, doctors, dentists, self-explanatory. Apartment building owners, that's a good one. Rehab facilities, home inspectors, stucco repair. These are just examples to give you guys an idea. Like I said, this is just kind of like an introductory video, but what we can do is just real quick, we'll look up some quick keyword research on one of these. Maybe we'll choose like stucco repair. I haven't actually looked into that in a while. So here we are in the keyword planner, and if we were to just type in stucco repair, and logically when I think of stucco houses, the type of houses that seem to be common, or more so common. I lived in Florida, and the majority of houses in our community, at least, were stucco. And I know for a fact that stucco repair can be quite expensive at times. So if I was to type in stucco repair, and I'll filter this by Florida, so this is only going to pop up with searches in Florida. And let's get an idea of kind of what we're working with. So in general, I'd say that these search volumes are, combined metrics. So this doesn't mean, if you're doing click to call, this doesn't mean that you're, there's potentially 1,000 mobile click to call clicks in there per month. But, you could divide that in half or so around there, and that's pretty much what you're going to be working with as far as click to call goes for. But you can also run desktop and tablet pay-per-call landing pages that'll also drive calls as well, but that's a topic for another discussion. But you can see here, these are all sorted by Florida. Stucco repair, about 1,000. Stucco patch, stucco contractors, stucco crack repair. You know, there's a bunch of terms here. So what I would do after this is, you know, do your appropriate keyword research. I would research some contractors that seem to be big on AdWords, kind of see what they're going for. Maybe even call up that contractor, see what their going rates are, and I would take that and start sourcing, you know, these calls to potential stucco contractors in the area that would love to pick up more work. And you can price these in like a per call model or a per month, where you say, hey, you know, for $5,000 a month, you can expect 75 calls, and you work out your math on what you think your CPCs are going to be. Or you can do something like marking up your CPC cost by 10 to 15 times that amount and charge them just per call. So there's a lot of options that we're going to be talking about. This is just kind of like an introductory course. We'll train you guys on how to pitch effectively, as well as how to get clients really easily as well. So with that said, that's it for this kind of introductory video, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Hey everyone, it's Kevin from Call Academy. I focus mainly on the offline clients in terms of what I do day to day. So I thought I'd make a video today on looking at offline clients. And today specifically, we're going to look at keyword strategy for offline clients. Now, with offline clients, it's a very different beast, because the way you approach the campaign is slightly different. Now, in a personal campaign of mine, when it's not an offline client, I might be slightly more aggressive. You know, I might just, you know, put loads of keywords in, wait for some data to come out and see what I can optimize then. But remember that the new piece that's introduced with an offline client is the client themselves, and they need to be comfortable. So we're going to go through a few things to make sure we are managing the client properly, as well as managing the campaign properly at the same time. So we're going to go through quickly the 3 different match types with a Google campaign, just so we can just to make sure we're on the same page, where I bring up all the different types throughout the video. And then we're going to talk about managing an offline client and what it takes to make sure they are happy, as well as the campaign is doing well. Then I'm going to go through the 3 strategies I focus on when it comes to keywords for offline clients. Now, obviously, some of them might be things you've seen before. I'll just recover them, and then there's a couple things that are new. And then very, very briefly, we'll talk about the negotiation of the raw deal. So Ken, my business partner, and also a coach in Call Academy, managed to negotiate his way to a $35 raw call deal. And, you know, that is, that's impressive, obviously, because it's raw call, isn't it? So we'll get to that in a second. So getting straight into it, looking at the different match styles. Obviously, we know there's broad match, phrase match, and exact match. Just to quickly go over it, what we've got here is a broad match where anything can come up. So if we've got a keyword that, for example, says, looking at this, the keyword on broad match, right? So the keyword here is cheap life insurance. And obviously with a broad match, anything can come up, you know, synonyms, similar words, different type of things can come up with that broad match, because it's kind of like putting a wide net out there. So for example, you can get inexpensive life insurance, or you can get inexpensive car insurance. And it's happened, you know, it's happened on a campaign that we're running now. So we've recently just won a life insurance client. I'm obviously helping them generate life insurance leads. And some of the calls that we've been listening to, they've been getting car insurance from our broad words. And it's a dangerous game sometimes with broad keywords, because you're just putting a net out there, and very, random stuff can come up. And obviously the key there is how quickly you can make certain words and phrases negative. And we'll go over that in a second. Moving on, phrase match. Obviously it's about the phrase itself. So let's just say that this is no longer broad, and then this is a phrase keyword. Or actually, let's say that the phrase is just life insurance, right? it means that no matter what happens, life insurance, the phrase, will always come up in that situation. So you'll never have to worry about things like car insurance, because life insurance is the phrase. So you might get inexpensive life insurance, long-term life insurance, infinite life insurance, things like that. But the life insurance phrase will always be there. And that's why phrase match is always a main focus for offline clients. And I'll get to that in a second when we touch up on the strategies. And exact match is, I guess it's exactly what it says on the tin, isn't it? So it's exact match. If this was an exact match keyword, then literally life insurance would have to be typed in for our ad to be there. As you can imagine, that being such a general exact match, it would be quite expensive, wouldn't it? So yeah, they're the 3 match types. Just wanted to cover that very quickly before we get on to anything else. So before we get into strategies, let's quickly talk about what it takes to manage an offline client. Now, with an offline client, they have their emotions, and they, especially if it's someone you haven't worked with, you are on trial basically, and you need to prove to them that you can generate good quality leads, and you don't have a long window to do that. As we all know, when you start a campaign, the quality is not very good, right? It's pretty crappy at the beginning. So you need to make sure that it gets up quite quickly. And so an example is, we launched a campaign a couple of weeks ago, and obviously we, as aggressive as we are sometimes, we put some broad matches in, and they were getting car insurance calls for life insurance. It's no good, and it's no good for credibility. So you need to make sure that actually, when it comes to offline clients, you need to, at the start of the campaign, what I'd always recommend is starting with phrase match and starting with exact match only. Yeah. That way you could, even if you just break even at the beginning, even if you're maybe even losing a bit of money, it's not a problem, because the objective at the beginning is to make sure they're comfortable with the leads that you're generating, and you can build that relationship, because over time you can do things like negotiate better rates or negotiate better deals in the long run, or even better partnerships. And so that relationship is so important. Stick with those 2 phrase match and gather some data and see what you can optimize. And that's what I'd always do at the start. However, there is something you can do with broad match, which we'll cover in a second, to make sure you're getting some broad stuff in as well. So, finally, to start off by getting that great quality, and the first thing you need to focus on is targeting instructions. So, with a client, you need to pretty much interrogate them on what they're looking for, the exact type of person. Now, this is the difference. When you are, when you get a campaign through an affiliate network, which is great, obviously, which we do as well, of course, they've done this part for you. They'll tell you that, it's a 2-minute call quality and it's targeting these locations. But obviously with an offline client, you're doing that yourself. So you need to be quite, detailed in your approach of getting those right instructions. When we first started with an offline client, maybe 2 years ago, we, didn't get the targeting quite right. And then we would get calls every other day with updates on targeting. And at that point, we thought, well, it's their fault. They should have told us. But no, that's not true. It's your fault. You need to sit them down, understand exactly what they want, what quality looks like to them, and spend that time at the beginning so you can get quality right at the beginning. This, a piece of advice will be the difference between, running your campaign for 2 weeks and them calling you to tell you that they decided that they don't want to do it anymore, or them saying this is great, like, let's continue. It's about understanding customer needs, typical business 101. So, moving on very quickly, let's get on to the keyword strategy. So, obviously, these are the 3 strategies. The keyword, negative keyword focus is something you've probably seen before, but I'll quickly go over it again. And so let's see what that's about. So looking at this is an old campaign that I used to test when I was running solar, a couple months ago. So let's just have a quick look at what this looks like. So negative keywords, right? So if you go to keywords, you go to negative keywords, you can see all the keywords I've already got, right? So, let's go to search terms and have a look at what we've got. So, When you click on search engines, you can see what people are actually searching in Google to flag up your ad. And you can see there's a lot of stuff here. Now, it's all about cancelling out the crap, basically. And if you just look around here, look, for example, can you see Solar City? Solar City is a brand. And this goes back to that conversation about targeting, right? You need to make sure you ask them what they really want. And this person in particular didn't want branded keywords. So you have to exclude them. But otherwise they'll get calls saying, hey, is this Solar City? Can you do XYZ for me? And then obviously they're not Solar City. That's a problem for them. Secondly, there's other crap. So can you see that Solar City billing department? Forget about the fact that it says Solar City for a second. Notice that it says billing, right? And another one there, billing. Can you see? Billing, that's a very dangerous word because billing means that they've already got solar panels, right? So they don't need a new solar panel if they're asking for the billing department for a solar panel. So that's a very bad keyword. So what I'd do is I'd negative that whole thing. So I'll go to negative and I'll add that as a negative keyword. But also the word billing is quite dangerous in general. So I'll add billing as well as a broad, billing as a phrase, and billing as a negative. As an exact match as well. Now, obviously, I'd use the wrapper tool to do this more effectively. I won't really type it manually like that. Let me quickly just show you. Obviously, it's a keyword wrapper. You just put the keyword in there, wrap, and it will give you all of them there, and you just copy it in, and then you're done, really. So that's that aspect of it. Broad match modifier. Now, this is where you use broad matches effectively to get the result that you're looking for, right? So for this one, let's go back to the Word document. Let's say we've got life insurance again. Sorry, that's just my Skype making sounds. Ignore that. So we've got life insurance, and that is a broad match keyword. But if you want to say, again, we say cheap life insurance, we put a plus in front of the life, and what that will do, that will keep the word life there. And now life will always be in that sentence, and cheap and insurance will be broad. That might change to inexpensive, but life insurance will be there, and that will mitigate, like things like car insurance coming up and things like that. So that's how you use the modifier. Now, if you do plus there again, then now life insurance will stay like a phrase, but the front word might change. So cheap might change to inexpensive, but life insurance will always be there like it's a phrase. But please understand, if you put a plus in front of everything, it's the same as a phrase match, and that's completely useless, right? So moving on, the final part is about phrase match winning bids, right? So if you look at this image here, I'll just enlarge it for you so you can see, right? You got phrase match here. And this is, by the way, this is a snapshot taken from my AdWords editor, right? All my keywords at the moment, can you see, is £8, right? And here, this column here shows first page bid. This is what you need to bid, so you are at the front page, right? Can you see some of the phrase work? Can you see how these numbers are all different? So what I would do is go through this list of keywords, and for, say, this phrase match, these are, by the way, really good keywords. So phrase match, £8, I'd increase it to this, like 11.18, so I can be on the front page. Again, this, I'll change this to 11.69, so I can be on the front page. And obviously with these, I'll reduce these because I'm betting $8, and to be on the first page, all it is £1, right? So I said dollars, I meant pounds. This campaign's in GBP. So I kind of go through the list of phrase matches and actually almost all the keywords and make sure that I'm on the first page for all of them, particularly phrase matches, right? And that's how it is. So quickly talking about we're talking about negotiating this. It's very important that the best way to negotiate raw core deal is to be able to show evidence. Now, if you're first starting off at the very, very beginning, you won't be able to show evidence of the success you've achieved in previous campaigns. But once you get to the point where you've got 1, 2, 3 campaigns that are working well, even if they are not offline campaigns, even if they're through affiliate networks, then you're good. Then you can use that, go into the meeting and show them the deals, and that's how you start negotiating. Don't worry, we're going to put out a full-blown video on negotiating contracts with offline clients at a later date. And that's basically it. Just to kind of summarize, the strategy for keywords is make sure you got the negative list there. Make sure you use broad modifiers, which is the plus in front of the specific word you want to keep, and make sure you're winning the bids for phrase match keywords. Thank you.